The biggest misconception about manifestation is that effort creates results. Most people believe that working harder, pushing more, obsessing more will make things happen faster. They think intensity equals power. But if intensity created results, the most anxious people would be the most abundant. They are not. Anxiety is energy. Anxiety is movement. Anxiety is urgency, but it is not structure. The quantum field does not respond to how hard you try. It does not respond to how loud your desire is. It responds to stability. Stability is coherence. Stability is calm. Stability is the signal that tells the field you are ready, that you are organized, that you are aligned. Effort is scattered. Effort is fluctuation. Effort is noise. It moves the mind, it stirs the heart, but it does not collapse probability. It does not create certainty. Stability collapses probability. Stability collapses reality. Stability is the quiet engine behind every aligned outcome. And yet, most people ignore this because stability feels almost boring. It lacks drama, it lacks spikes, it lacks the emotional intensity people associate with manifestation. But that lack of drama is the point. Calm is the engine of creation. Calm signals structure. Calm signals coherence. Calm signals to the field that your outcome is inevitable. The field mirrors the signal you broadcast. If your signal is turbulent, the outcome will be fragmented. If your signal is steady, the outcome will crystallize naturally. Most people mistake emotional intensity for power. They cry while visualizing. They amplify the feeling of wanting. They obsess, they chase, they measure every sign, every coincidence, every delay. They believe that effort equals alignment. But what they are actually doing is broadcasting attachment. Attachment destabilizes the system. Attachment creates oscillation between hope and doubt, excitement and fear. That oscillation widens the wave of probability. It keeps collapse delayed. The quantum field does not respond to desire. It responds to coherence. Your internal state is your instrument. Your nervous system is your transmitter. When your system is regulated, when your heart and brain synchronize, when your thoughts, emotions, and physiology move in agreement, your signal is clean. Clean signals collapse quickly. When your system is tense, when it swings between emotion, when it anticipates failure or braces for uncertainty, your signal fragments. Fragmented signals produce fragmented outcomes. This is why some manifestations almost happen but never fully appear. They almost collapse, almost align, almost succeed. The field mirrors patterns, not intentions. If your pattern is turbulence, the reflection will be turbulence. If your pattern is coherence, the reflection will be coherence. Effort feels productive because it activates the nervous system, it speeds the mind, it stimulates the body. It feels like motion, but motion does not equal alignment. Motion can even block alignment. Calm does not feel like motion. Calm feels like stillness. Stillness organizes. Stillness stabilizes. Stillness consolidates probability into a singular outcome. Surgeons slow their heart rate before operating. Athletes slow their breath before decisive movements. Elite performers rehearse in quiet focus, not frenzied action. Precision is calm. Manifestation is precision. High beta states, analytical alertness, constant scanning, overthinking, and worry are survival mechanisms. They are useful for avoiding danger, but they do not collapse reality. They produce fragmentation. They widen the wave. Calm alpha and theta states consolidate. They create coherence. They synchronize the heart and brain. They regulate hormones. They produce internal agreement. Internal agreement broadcasts creative authority. Your nervous system is your tool. Your heart rhythm is your transmitter. Your physiology is the signal. Coherence is the alignment of these three. When they move together without friction, your signal is clean. Clean signals collapse faster. Most people try to increase intensity, thinking that more emotion equals faster results. They believe that if they feel more, they will create more. But emotional spikes without regulation are noise. They are fluctuations. They are temporary bursts that the system cannot sustain. Intensity feels active, but activation is not alignment. Activation moves the body and excites the mind. Alignment moves reality. Calm moves reality. Calm collapses probability. Calm broadcasts stability. Stability organizes probability. Stability shapes outcomes. Stability is invisible, but it is potent. It is not flashy, but it is decisive. It is the engine behind every manifestation that lasts, every outcome that consolidates. The body carries more information than the mind in quantum interaction. That is why physiological regulation is critical. Even subtle tension when imagining your desires carries more weight than your mental visualization. Bracing, gripping, tensing, anticipating failure sends the wrong signal. The field mirrors these signals. Your body is the amplifier. If your nervous system is chaotic, your field reflects chaos. If your nervous system is regulated, your field reflects coherence. This is why some people work hard, visualize intensely, cry while manifesting, and yet see no results. The effort is intense, but the internal system is turbulent. The signal is fragmented. The probability wave remains wide. The collapse is delayed. Stabilizing the body stabilizes the outcome. Regulating the heart rhythm stabilizes the field. Aligning thought and emotion stabilizes probability. This is the principle that most manifestation teachings ignore. It is not about effort, it is about stability. It is not about how loud you want something, it is about how steady you are while holding the vision. Every time you slow your breath instead of escalating your emotion, you train your system towards coherence. Every time you observe doubt without reacting, you stabilize the signal. Every time you imagine your future and remain physiologically relaxed, you narrow probability. This is not passive waiting, it is precision. Precision comes from calm. Precision comes from regulation. Effort tries to overpower reality. Stability reorganizes reality. Effort tightens the body, speeds the mind, heightens stress. Stability slows the body, steadies the mind, harmonizes emotion. Effort fights resistance. Stability dissolves resistance. Effort produces urgency. Stability produces inevitability. The field responds to identity, not intensity. Identity broadcasts clarity. Identity stabilizes the signal. Desire fluctuates. Identity stabilizes. Desire can spike, fade, or waver. Identity remains consistent. Identity collapses reality more reliably than desire ever could. Manifestation is not about adding energy. It is about reducing interference. It is about removing contradiction. Every internal conflict, every oscillation between hope and doubt, every subtle tensing, gripping, interferes with the signal. You do not need more intensity, you need less noise, less turbulence. When you stabilize your system, your probability wave narrows naturally. Collapse happens naturally. Your body, mind, and heart align. Your signal is clean. Your outcomes become inevitable. You are not pushing, you are allowing. You are broadcasting coherence. You are reflecting identity. This is where advanced manifestation begins. This is where personal growth is practical. This is where calm surpasses effort. This is where the field mirrors coherence instead of chaos. Now that you understand that stability is more important than effort, the next step is learning how to create that stability within yourself. Stability is not about suppressing emotion or pretending you are calm when you are not. It is about integrating your emotions so they do not interfere with your signal. You can feel excitement without losing regulation. You can desire something without clinging to it. You can imagine your future without scanning for proof that it will happen. The field responds to steadiness, to clarity, to coherence, and the body is the instrument that broadcasts this signal. If your body is tense, your nervous system is unstable, and your physiology is disordered, the signal becomes fragmented. But when you slow your breath, regulate your heartbeat, align your thoughts and emotions, and steady your nervous system, the signal becomes coherent. Coherence accelerates collapse. It collapses probability into the reality you want with less resistance, less struggle, and more precision. The first practice for stability is breath regulation. Breathing is not just for oxygen. It is a tool for aligning the body and the mind. When you take deep, slow, measured breaths, your nervous system shifts from a reactive state into a regulated state. Heart rate stabilizes, blood pressure lowers, muscles relax, the mind slows. High beta frequency decreases, and alpha and theta frequencies emerge. In these brain states, coherence increases. Thoughts align with emotion, and emotion aligns with physiology. Your signal becomes singular. You are no longer broadcasting mixed signals of hope and doubt, desire and fear. You are broadcasting clarity. Every time you feel the urge to escalate your emotion, to push harder, to check for signs, take a moment and focus on your breath. Allow your body to anchor in the present. Anchor in regulation. This micro-practice has more power than hours of visualization or emotional intensity. Breath is the gateway to calm, and calm is the engine of manifestation. The second practice is observing without reacting. This requires awareness. Most people react automatically to doubt, fear, or impatience. They measure results, compare timelines, or check for evidence that their desires are working. This is subtle tension. It is the nervous system responding as if there is a problem. Observation without reaction shifts the internal state. You notice doubt or disappointment, acknowledge it, but do not let it alter your physiology. You do not tighten, brace, or escalate emotion. You stabilize. Each time you do this, you are training your system toward coherence. You are telling your body, your mind, and your heart that it is safe to have what you desire. The field receives the stabilized signal. Collapse occurs naturally because the system is no longer resisting. Allowing becomes more effective than pushing. Calm becomes more powerful than intensity. The third practice is imagining your desired outcome while remaining physically relaxed. Most manifestation teachings emphasize emotion as the key. But what if the field responds more to physiology than to feeling? If your body tenses when you imagine success, you are sending a subtle signal of disbelief or caution. Even slight bracing or tightening communicates resistance. The field mirrors this resistance. Instead, imagine your future with relaxed muscles, open posture, and steady breathing. Feel desire, yes, but do not cling to it. Imagine success without urgency. Allow excitement to exist without gripping. The mind can imagine, the body can relax, and together they broadcast coherence. This is the difference between trying to force reality and allowing it to crystallize. Another powerful tool is repetition and normalization. When you repeat visualization, affirmation, or intention practices in a calm state, the nervous system begins to normalize the desired reality. Familiarity reduces resistance. When abundance, love, or success feels familiar inside you, the field interprets it as natural. Natural collapses faster than urgent. The body no longer treats the desired reality as foreign. Foreignness creates tension. Tension delays collapse.
Stability removes foreignness. The calmer and more regulated your internal state becomes, the more naturally your outcomes manifest. This is why some people see rapid alignment without intense effort. They broadcast coherence because they are normalized. They have integrated their desire into their identity. Identity, not intensity, is the ultimate signal. Identity is the foundation of advanced manifestation. The person you are while waiting for results determines how quickly outcomes collapse. If you are reactive, anxious, or desperate, your identity is rooted in effort and instability. If you are calm, consistent, and regulated, your identity is rooted in coherence. Coherence broadcasts certainty. Certainty narrows probability. Narrowed probability collapses. This is the key difference between chasing results and allowing results to emerge. One is chaotic. One is inevitable. One is loud. One is quiet. One is exhausting. One is effortless. Most people do not realize that the quiet version of manifestation is far more powerful than the dramatic version. Intensity does not collapse reality. Stability does. Calm creates your reality. Calm is not passive. Calm is active regulation. Calm is coherence. Calm is identity broadcasting stability to the field. The next step is training the nervous system to hold expansion while not contracting. When you imagine receiving abundance, success, or love, does your body tense? Do you brace for disappointment? Do you anticipate failure? These reactions are subtle but powerful. They send contradictory signals. The field mirrors the contradiction. Collapse is delayed. When you train your nervous system to remain relaxed while holding expansion, your baseline shifts. Your system stops interpreting abundance as a threat. Your system treats success as familiar. Your identity integrates it. Your body broadcasts coherence. Your outcomes accelerate. This is the difference between trying hard and allowing naturally. One produces tension. One produces inevitability. Micro-interventions are crucial. Notice the subtle spikes when checking for results. Notice the slight disappointment when things do not appear on your timeline. Notice the internal argument about timing, sequencing, or readiness. These are fluctuations. They destabilize your signal. Instead of reacting, stabilize. Instead of pushing, settle. Instead of amplifying desire, normalize it. Normalize desire into your identity. Normalize success into your nervous system. Normalize abundance into your physiology. Normalization removes resistance. Resistance delays collapse. When resistance drops, probability narrows. When probability narrows, outcomes crystallize naturally. This is the secret most teachings miss. It is not about intensity. It is about coherence. It is not about doing more. It is about being more regulated. The discipline of calm requires repetition. It requires awareness. It requires the ability to catch yourself when intensity rises. Urgency feels productive, but it is often counterproductive. The real mastery is not in emotional explosion. It is in emotional regulation. Emotional regulation creates coherence. Coherence collapses reality. This is where personal growth and manifestation intersect. When you train your system to remain calm, you are also strengthening your identity. You are training yourself to be resilient, to be steady, to be consistent. Identity becomes the foundation of your reality. Identity is more persuasive than desire. Desire fluctuates. Identity is consistent. Desire can spike and fade. Identity broadcasts a constant, coherent signal that the field cannot ignore. Every micro-choice toward calm amplifies this effect. Every breath, every pause, every conscious regulation strengthens the signal. You begin to notice opportunities aligning without struggle. Conversations shift unexpectedly. timing smooths out. The process becomes less dramatic, more fluid. This is coherence stabilizing into form. You no longer push, you no longer chase, you prepare. Preparation means refining identity. Refinement is not about more emotion, it is about more regulation. Regulated identity feels safe with expansion. It does not tense when imagining success. It does not tighten when thinking about abundance. It allows. Allowance is advanced manifestation. Calm is precision. Precision.
By now you understand that stability matters more than effort. You know that calm collapses probability faster than intensity. You have learned to regulate your nervous system, align your heart, mind, and emotions, and normalize desire into identity. The final step is integrating this into daily life so that manifestation becomes natural. This is where personal growth and manifestation merge. It is no longer a practice you do for a few minutes each day. It becomes a way of being. A regulated nervous system becomes your baseline. Calm becomes your default. Your body no longer reacts to uncertainty with tension. Your mind no longer oscillates between hope and doubt. Your heart no longer spikes with urgency. You live in steadiness, and from steadiness, outcomes emerge effortlessly. Mastery is about consistency in internal state. It is not about dramatic effort. It is about regulated presence. Every day presents opportunities to practice calm. When you feel frustration, notice it, regulate it, and settle. When you feel impatience, observe it, slow your breath, and allow. When fear arises, acknowledge it, integrate it, and continue. Each micro moment of regulation strengthens your coherence. Each moment trains your identity. Each moment narrows probability. The field mirrors your internal state. When your baseline is calm, coherent, and regulated, your external reality reorganizes around it naturally. You stop forcing. You stop chasing. You allow. You prepare. You create a magnetic state where outcomes move toward you without struggle, without drama, without spikes. Stability is persuasive. Stability is inevitable. Stability is quiet power. Advanced manifestation is also about detachment from the outcome while maintaining alignment with your desire. This is not apathy, it is precision. You desire something, you visualize it, you feel it, but you do not cling. You allow it to exist in your internal reality without needing proof. Detachment reduces interference. Detachment allows the field to reflect coherence instead of turbulence. You broadcast confidence instead of anxiety. You broadcast certainty instead of urgency. You no longer try to force probability. You simply hold your identity steady. Your identity becomes the template the field reflects. This is the subtle but critical difference between trying hard and allowing naturally. One produces friction, one produces flow. One delays collapse, one accelerates it. At this stage, manifestation becomes effortless because your internal architecture supports it. Your nervous system can hold expansion without contracting. Your physiology is aligned. Your emotion is regulated. Your thoughts are coherent. Your identity is stabilized. Your signal is singular. Collapse occurs naturally. Outcomes appear as a reflection of your internal state. You do not need to manipulate reality. You do not need to chase. You simply organize yourself and the field mirrors you. This is the point where personal growth and manifestation are inseparable. Calm is the creative force. Calm is precision. Calm broadcasts structural power. Effort cannot match this. Intensity cannot compete with coherence. The final insight is simple but transformative. The quieter version of manifestation is more powerful than the dramatic version. It is subtle, steady, and internally anchored. It does not react to temporary delays or uncertainty. It does not need external validation. It does not chase outcomes. It allows them. It trusts coherence. It broadcasts identity. It collapses probability. It creates inevitability. This is the path of mastery. You do not manifest by trying harder. You manifest by becoming steadier. You do not collapse reality by pushing. You collapse reality by aligning. You do not accelerate outcomes with intensity. You accelerate outcomes with calm. The field respects structure. It mirrors stability. It responds to coherence. It does not care about drama. It only responds to order. When you internalize this principle, everything changes. You stop exhausting yourself chasing results. You stop confusing effort with progress. You stop measuring manifestation by emotional spikes or temporary highs. You begin to create from a place of calm. You begin to operate from a place of coherence. You begin to broadcast identity instead of desire. And from that place, life shifts. Opportunities align. Timing becomes natural. Outcomes consolidate. You move through the world with quiet certainty. You stop reacting to temporary setbacks. You stop escalating in fear or hope. You hold your vision. You hold your identity. You hold your signal. And the field mirrors you. Stability collapses probability faster than effort ever could. Calm creates your reality. Coherence produces inevitability. Identity broadcasts power. And when you reach this level, manifestation becomes effortless, natural, and unstoppable.